So a few of you have been really keen to point out that you can actually go into your farming and mining category here and you can replant stone, coal, and iron as well as gold, mana shards, fire, air, water, and earth stones. What? Like, what? I love this! I love that this is it makes no sense whatsoever. My sense of immersion has been destroyed. Which is obviously why I play Factory Time. But it's been destroyed. But it's given me an idea. It means I could technically set up a mine that just gets everything. So we might have to do that at some point. But today is not going to be about that. Today is actually going to be about getting some power to some buildings because I want to start building a steam power network off of a steam generator. So the steam generator is actually going to go in pretty much right away. It's going to go like here, essentially. I could put it on the corner. Actually, that would be kind of neat. We could sort of just place it there. I think I'll just put it like there, right? We'll put it right there. And that's going to be getting plenty of water. There's no issue with water collection on this whatsoever, but it does also need fuel, which is something that we could probably do right off the bat as well. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to take out some resources and I'm going to take out a whole bunch of trees here because I want to put my forestry building, my forester, just in the middle there for two reasons. Reason number one, a whole bunch of trees. Reason number two is I can actually get pears from this as well. So we're going to get both of those. We're not going to be using the pears. We're not going to be doing anything with the pears, but we can get pears. So why not? Let's throw a shoot just on. Of course, it grabs a pear. I didn't really want the pear, but sure. We're going to put a grabber on there, and that's only going to be grabbing wood. And I think there's a way I can, like, remove items. There we go. So yeah, if I press M, I can remove items from that. But what I want to do is basically just bring a shoot sort of all the way over here. We're going to bring it sort of this way a bit, I guess. And then we're going to bring it like this. And suddenly we have a whole bunch of wood going into our steam generator, meaning this thing is actually going to be producing a whole bunch of power. So that's generating power, but unfortunately it's not connected to anything. So that power isn't really going to any use whatsoever. So what we need to do is get ourselves some steam pipes, and we need to make those in a machine shop. Now, we do have one of those. We could come over here, but unfortunately, this machine shop is just not very efficient. So we'll figure something out with this at some point. Honestly, what I'm kind of thinking is that I might set up a separate iron plate production because this, I mean, it's just not efficient, really. This machine shop is just not getting enough iron plates. So what I might do is get rid of this run here completely, have some of the iron plates go in here, have the rest go into storage. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think we're going to just go in, we're going to clear this out. I didn't really want to get rid of that one, but that's fine. We can rebuild that. We're going to clear this out completely because I figure that this just isn't, it's just not efficient enough. So clear all of these conveyors out, and we're going to do something just a bit different, really. We're going to figure out what's going to be the best way to set this all up. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure how easy it's going to be to clear those out. Apparently very. And then down here can be cleared out as well. So that gives us room to expand in there if we want to, but we do need to find a new source of those iron plates. What I'm thinking is that I'm going to do something over here because we actually have a lot of iron here. So if I go in with the terrain flatten down tool and I say, let's kind of flatten the terrain around here in a pretty major way. So flatten all that out. What I can also do is go in with the remove resource option, and I can take out a nice little square of iron ore. I can take out a little strip there. And if I'm lucky, I can go in and say, give me a mine in there. So now we have a mine right in the middle of this, which is going to be able to get so much, like it's plus 500% with just one worker because of how much iron there is around this. So what we can do is we can come over here and we can build a forge. Now, we are going to need fuel for the forge, but that's no big deal. We can get some of that. We actually have coal here, so we could use that. I sort of regret not putting the iron mine down here now, because we could have had... Whatever. It doesn't matter. But what we can do is we can put this forge, say, there, which is not a perfectly straight line from that, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. And that's going to be making iron plates. So we'll go ahead, we'll do something like this. We'll set up a grabber, so this is only grabbing iron plates, just to make sure. And essentially, this is going to exclusively provide this machine shop with iron plates. And honestly, I was thinking that we would set up a separate production for the steam pipes, but with how quickly this produces iron, we might not have to do that. It's going to depend on how quickly we can get fuel to this forge, which, based on the coal deposit, could be very quickly. It could be very, very quickly. So let's see. A mine is going to need a bunch more of the rail tiles, and we're not going to be making any of those right now. So what I think we'll do is possibly bring over a temporary source of fuel for this. I think I might just set up a temporary lumber mill until later on. So let's go in here. Let me actually, can I like quick assign the remove option? So if I do that, yeah, there we go. So 8 on my hotbar is now remove resource. That's going to be really, really useful. So if I put a forester here, for example, what I can do is say, go ahead and grab wood for me. And then we can throw that onto a chute, just nice and easy like that. So that's going to immediately start pumping wood into the forge. Then over here, what we can do is hopefully something similar with cloth conveyor belts. So if I was to do this, and that, we should now have iron going in there. And it's actually not going as quick as I'd like, so I'm going to upgrade all of that to metal conveyor belts. So metal, metal, and metal along there. So that's not going to be outputting iron plates at a pretty decent rate. I want to put more workers in there, though. So that'll go up to 280%. So that's going to be producing iron plates much, much quicker, meaning that this should be able to make rail tiles a bit quicker as well, which is going to be a good thing, because we are going to need a bunch of those, and it is actually producing them pretty quickly there. So this is actually working exactly the way we want it to. This doesn't need upgrade at all. This is working fine. So that's getting the iron plates, meaning it's making everything I want it to make. Unfortunately, it's not actually getting just as many iron plates as I would have liked. It's not making any gears, which is... Actually, no. Gears aren't something... Gears is something we use in here, so we don't need to worry about that. It's not making any metal conveyors, and I don't think it's going to until the output for rail tiles is full, and that's not going to be full until this barn is full. So maybe what we could do is... Well, do we need iron wheels as well? Yeah, looking at this, I'm starting to think that we probably should just set up a separate production for pipes. I mean, we can select the recipe. It only takes 2 iron plates, but I think that's just going to be too much. And then on top of that, we need to figure out storage for pipes as well, because we don't really have any room for that anywhere. So this might just be a way to keep this thing supplied with iron plates. I don't think it's going to be much other than that. Although with that said, now that we are out of the stone bricks, this is actually starting to make iron wheels and metal conveyors again. So the stone brick production going so slowly has actually started opening up the door for other things to be made in here. So that's not actually the worst thing in the world. That actually... Okay, this is actually producing pretty well. I just wish this was faster. Because this probably could afford to be a bit faster. Maybe. It looks like it looks like we've met a really good, like, almost equilibrium here of what's being taken. No, that is actually climbing. Never mind. This number here is slowly. I'll get to 18 in a second, I think. If I'm not mistaken, that should manage to hit 18 eventually. Yeah, it's getting there. It's starting to hit 18. So that's climbing. So this thing is pretty much sort of maxed out and working optimally. I'm just going to leave that alone. I think we will look into getting a separate pipe production, and I'm looking sort of over here, honestly. This might not be a terrible spot for it. I would like to see about getting like coal into the production. So up here, possibly like a mine up here would let me get coal into the production so that we could use that as a means of fuel versus using lumber. Because the pipes are made from iron plates, meaning we're going to need to get another forge as well as another machine shop. So maybe building something up here could be a fun idea. Let's give that a shot. Let's flatten out some land and see what we can do. So let's flatten it all down to like this level. We'll sort of cut away at the hills and all that stuff. We can do something nice with that design-wise later on. But we'll flatten all of this out. It might mess with those guys a little bit, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. So there we go. A nice flat area. I'm thinking I'm going to just flatten a little bit more of this down. And I think I'm going to just take out some of that as well, just to give me the perfect space, I think. So right in there, what I could do, I reckon, is a mine. We're going to need 13 more of the rail tracks, but that looks like the perfect spot. So that's going to be where our mine goes. So off of the mine, we're going to need to go into a forge. So from a mine to a forge, and the forge could go, let's say there. That's going to be making iron plates. And then from the forge, we go to a machine shop. And we'll just have sort of a... We'll leave a little bit of a gap, I think. The machine shop's going to be making steam pipes. And we'll do this as our conveyor belt. That one there, sorry. We'll get a grabber to make sure we're only going to be grabbing the... what are we grabbing again? The iron plates? Can't believe I forgot that already. So that's going to then just funnel into... I reckon a warehouse. So just up here. Because I don't think we're going to be using the pipes for any construction. I don't think we need to move them anywhere. I mean, if they're in the warehouse, we use them for construction, but I don't think we need to move them anywhere else right now. So that should be fine. That should work exactly the way we want it to. Now, looking down here, we're at 40 on the rail tracks there. So I guess we are just waiting for a bunch of stone to come in, and stone production is surprisingly slow. Like, surprisingly slow. I thought it would be a lot faster, but apparently not. I guess we could set up a mine to do that at some point as well and replace all of these guys. That definitely wouldn't hurt. Also, how are you doing? You carrying everything? Yep, 20 cooked fish. This is still pretty full. That's good. So this is all still working over here the way I want it to as well. So everything's kind of just working, which is nice. It's really nice that everything's just sort of getting along, isn't it? And amazingly, this is actually full right now. So this is producing exactly how I want it to. A little bit more in the way of stone production, like a tiny bit more, and I think this would be perfect. I really do. Really think that would be perfect. I'm wondering if we could probably improve it, but it seems like there's a decent amount moving down. It's just, I think it's because it's being split between like the barn and over here, so we'll not worry too much about that. How are we looking on the construction here? Do we have enough? We do not. We need 7 more of the rail paths. There's another one going out at the minute, so that's good. I guess, I mean, could I borrow some stone from anywhere? We could technically borrow it from over here. That is technically an option. And I mean, what is this going towards making? Right now, this is full. It's cloth conveyors. I reckon we could probably afford to borrow some stone from here. And I think, honestly, I'm going to try. So let's do this. Let's do that. Give me a splitter. And let's try this. Let's see what happens. We could probably get away with metal on that, actually. So let's do that. And that'll move it quite quickly. So that'll all start pumping in here, which is going to start giving us rail tiles. Now, unfortunately, that's going to mean that the iron plates get consumed very quickly, but that is going to give us rail tiles. That's going to give us a really good supply of stone. And eventually this will fill up as well, because I think this is going to sort of overload it. Because the production of this thing isn't good enough to keep up with the demand of this thing, so I'm hoping we're going to hit a point here where we sort of overload the system a little bit, where it all just starts working. Like, we've maxed out the wheels, which is good. We are nearly maxed out on the storage for the iron conveyors as well. So pretty soon, we're going to stop production on wheels. And not too long after, we'll stop production on the conveyors as well, assuming I don't just keep using them. So we'll see what happens. We might have some good stuff happening here. How close are we on the mine? We actually have enough, so that's good. Let's head up here then and say throw an iron mine. Let's throw it there. And it's going to be grabbing coal and iron. If we have a look at it, we are 110%, 275% there. So this is just going to need both, but I'm going to set up 2 conveyors for that because it's going to make life a little bit easier. So what we'll do is set a conveyor like this, and that's going to run coal in there. This one is going to run the iron in there. So it's going to be 2 separate paths, a little bit messy, but not too big a deal. We'll put a grabber there. This one is grabbing the coal. This one is grabbing the iron. And there we go. So that's producing pretty much the way we want it to. Giving this thing all the fuel it's going to need, meaning it's going to start producing the iron, meaning this is going to start producing pipes, which should get thrown out any second. There they are. And this will hopefully end up getting completely full of iron plates. So that'll be good. We could get more workers in here, and I think, honestly, I might go up to 5. Just to really max this out. So that's going to be working exactly the way we want it to. This is going to be working exactly the way we want it to. And suddenly we have the pipes. So we're actually making steam pipes. I'm going to say that we're going to increase this to 5 workers as well, because 10 seconds per pipe is a little while. That's a little bit much. So we'll see what comes of that. The good news is, though, that this is going to start, I mean, so what is this doing? This is going to start filling up that barn again, so that production's actually going ahead. There is, I think this is probably fine here. This is actually looking like it is maxed out, so yeah, we are starting to get the wheels in the machine shop output, so they're 3 away from ceasing production. So that's fine by me. Gears aren't actually output anywhere, but I mean, we have 1. Those will start storing up at some point as well, I suppose. The metal conveyors as well. So everything is, I want to say, going according to plan, essentially. So that's good. We can start looking at getting some power in here. So if we have a little look at the steam stuff, we can set a steam connector. I think there is already one there. Yeah, there is a steam connector there. So what we could do is set a steam connector there, and then I guess we run a steam pipe from the connector to there. So if we go like this, I think that's not connected. So this is a 2000% production, which is pretty good news. And this is consuming some power. So yeah, this is now running a little bit more efficiently, 230% with 1 worker. So that's pretty good. We'll give it 1 extra worker, so 255% with 1 worker, or 2 workers, with a bit of steam power coming off of it. So we can basically connect that up to a whole bunch of different buildings. My question becomes, can I connect it to this? I can connect it to that building. Can I connect it to a mine? I can't, I don't think. No, I can't, but I could connect it out there. And I could connect it there. So let's give this a shot. Let's see what we can connect this to. We could connect it to the kitchen as well, but I don't know if I want to do that. There's a lot of buildings we can connect this to, though. So this is very interesting for me. This is big. This is going to be a way to just make everything a bit more efficient, really. And then I guess we just connect more steam generators to the line if we start running low on power. Oh, that's kind of fascinating, actually. That could be very, very useful. Now let me see. We're on 44 of these. Yeah, we're 44 of the railroad tracks. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to come up here and put another mine in there. So let me flatten the terrain to the same height around here as best I can. So it's all sort of going to be that high, right? We could put some coal in there. It might not actually be a bad idea to get some coal storage going so we can have, like, reliable fuel. So, wow, coal, reliable, you know. I didn't say renewable. At least I didn't say that. But we could put some... We could go in. We could take out... I don't know, a nice chunk there. Right? And then we could go sort of like this. And I think that'll be pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire all of these guys because they're good. They're just not really good enough. So they're all fired. This is all going to be demolished because I reckon we can do better with that. We're still going to use chutes. We don't need to use conveyors on this. But I think we can do better than this. So let's go into buildings. Let's go to a mine. The mine can go there. It's going to be getting stone and coal. And let's see. So what way are we going to do this? I didn't really think about this, did I? So if I was to go... If I go into build for a second, logic sorter will force matching items to take the specified path direction. That's kind of what we want. So what we can do is grab a chute and bring it out. And then we can try to connect it sort of down here. But I think what I'm going to do is... let's see. Let's bring it to there for a second, because I want to bring these over. So structural blocks. Let's just use scaffolding for a little bit. So over to there. Let's do more scaffolding on top. So to that height. And we can bring this over. So that's about the perfect height there. Now what we can do is some ramps like this. And then a bunch of different chutes. So we're going to have a chute that goes like this. We're going to have one that goes this way. And sort of down to there. We're going to have one that goes this way. And this will be a little tricky, I think. This might actually backfire, because what I'm wanting to do is have coal storage down here. So what I think I'm actually going to need to do is just to sort of future-proof this. I'm going to put a couple of silos in there. So I want a silo there. We can leave another one of those and then do a barn. And that's where the coal's going to go. So what we can do is say paths, or sorry, logic blocks, sorter. And the coal is going to go straight on. And then a splitter right there. So if this works the way I think it will, which it hopefully will, we should see all of the stone going where we want it to go and the coal going straight on, which it absolutely is. So that is going to fill up the barn and then the silos. The worry is that the coal can technically back up, which, I mean, looking at this, it might just be better to set up a separate line for the coal, to be totally honest, so that if it does back up, it doesn't completely mess us over. So let's just do that, I think. I think that's going to be the safer bet. So take that out of there and take that out of there. Give me a nice little chute here and give me a chute right about there. So what we want to do is get rid of you. Put a little bit of a chute just there. And we'll just do grabbers, basically. And that's going to... Really, that's just going to make life easier. It's going to mean that the stone isn't getting interrupted by coal. So stone and then coal. So now they're going to be on separate lines, going into the different storage areas, and coal's actually going to be in pretty good storage with the silos there. But this is hopefully going to do very good things for us. In fact, we can probably just up the production on this a little bit. So 280% plus 265. I imagine, yeah, this is now working well. Oh, there's coal there. That's why it's not. Get rid of that. So yeah, this should now be able to work pretty efficiently. We should have a really good amount of stone coming out of there. Obviously, stone storage in general is pretty good. We could even look at splitting this storage. So, I mean, if we split this twice, so it's sort of a 50-50 split. If we split this, then 75% will be going to the left. That might even be better. So let's get some chutes. And let's see if that's actually a thing we can do. I'm really curious. To do that. That is not going to work because we didn't have a thing there. So a scaffold block. So if I do that, oh my god, what have I done? It's not quite what I had in mind. But if we then do a splitter. So I realize all of it was going straight. Hold on, what am I doing? All of it is going to the left right now anyway, because this gets backed up. I don't know why I did that. That was completely unnecessary. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think this is working a little bit more efficiently. I'm not quite sure what I was planning with that little loop there. That didn't really make much sense, did it? Didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Either way, we actually have a good amount of pipes at the minute. So let me throw some steam pipes into a few more places. I'm wondering, can I just link these two together? And then, I don't know what this building is. What is that? What is that? That's a lumber mill? Okay, I mean, we could just link all these together, right? Let's just link those together to see what happens. We'll do steam pipes between those. And like that. And then we can just go like this. So those should all be connected with a bit of power, which is good. So 230%, 330%, 305, 330, and 330. So that's all working pretty well. This right here is, let's see. So power units produced 500 per second. Network fulfillment is 100. So I'm assuming production is 500. Network is consuming 150. Would that make sense? How many buildings do we have consuming then? So 1, 2, so 25, 50, 75, 100. Yeah, 150. So each building is consuming 25. So if the maximum output from this with one worker, can I increase that? Like if I put 5 workers in there. I mean, this is slowly consuming steam power there. But you can see this little like green bit, I think, is climbing. Just very, very slowly. So it seems that adding additional workers in there isn't really doing anything. So I don't think we need it. But that's all right. So 150 consumption at the minute. I mean, we could get power to a lot more of our buildings. That's not bad. That is not bad. That's pretty good. We have also, I think, we've maxed out storage for metal conveyor belts. We've maxed out storage for the metal wheels as well. So this is working pretty well. We've actually got a whole bunch of the stone bricks in here too. Good to see that backing up. I guess it makes sense considering all the ones down here that we're using. Which honestly, I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. We don't want to consume it from 2 sides at once, especially since we've kind of upgraded this side now with better output in terms of everything. What's going on here? Why is this not outputting coal? There was sort of a pause in the coal there. That was a bit weird. Either way, good news is this is actually nearly full, so that's a beautiful sight. This, honestly, I'd like to see this moving quicker. So I'm going to say 5 workers in there. We're going to see what that does for us. We could try and bring some power out here. I think that's probably unnecessary. That's actually moving a little too quickly. It's starting to empty out there. So let's try 3 workers. See if that starts to fill up a little bit. Why are you not moving? Oh, we are out of red coins.